It began on a warm summer afternoon in Croydon, just another day for commuters boarding the city's buses. But what happened on July 21, 2023, would leave a lasting imprint on the lives of those involved and spark a nationwide debate. A mother traveling with her young son stepped onto a bus, unaware that this journey would take a shocking turn. The quiet exchange between her and a bus inspector quickly escalated into something no one could have anticipated. What followed was a scene that gripped onlookers, and later, the internet. Jocelyn Agimong, a mother in her 30s, stood on the platform, trying to explain herself. Her son, wide-eyed and clutching her arm, watched as their simple ride became a confrontation with law enforcement. Enter PC Perry Lathwood, a Metropolitan Police officer tasked with handling disputes. But his approach that day was anything but ordinary. The situation spiraled out of control. Jocelyn, accused of using a fake bus ticket, found herself pressed against the side of the vehicle, her child crying at her side. Eyewitnesses gathered, phones raised, capturing every moment as the tension built. Some shouted in her defense, others stood in stunned silence. The officer's actions drew gasps from the crowd, and later, millions of views online. But the story didn't end there. The viral footage ignited outrage, with calls for accountability ringing out across the country. What truly happened that day? Was this a matter of law and order, or something far more troubling? To understand, we must step back and piece together the events leading to this moment. Croydon, a borough in South London known for its vibrant culture and diversity, has long been a crossroads of stories and lives. It's here, on a public bus route, that this mother's journey collided with the system in a way that would change everything for her family and force a nation to question its values. This is more than just an incident. It's a window into the lives affected, the power dynamics at play, and the questions we must confront. Stay with us as we piece together the truth behind one of Croydon's most controversial encounters. On bias. The body cam footage begins with what seems like a standard fare check. The bus inspector claims Jocelyn Agimong presented a ticket that didn't pass their verification. Jocelyn, visibly confused, explains that she purchased her ticket like everyone else. Her voice remains calm at first, but there's a hint of tension. It's the kind of situation no one wants to escalate. She pleads her case, her son watching closely, gripping her hand. But as the minutes tick by, more voices enter the scene. "She paid her fare," shouts one witness from the crowd. Another adds, "Why are you treating her like this?" The scene begins to shift from an inquiry to a confrontation as the bus inspector calls for police backup. Enter PC Perry Lathwood, responding to what he assumes is a straightforward case. However, his demeanor immediately raises eyebrows. The officer orders Jocelyn to step off the bus. She hesitates, explaining again that her ticket is valid. Her son clings to her side, his young voice barely audible as he asks, "What's going on, Mum?" The tension reaches a boiling point as the officer grabs Jocelyn's arm, pulling her towards the side of the bus. "Don't touch me," she says firmly, her voice cracking under the weight of fear and frustration. The crowd grows louder. "Leave her alone," a voice yells. Jocelyn's resistance is minimal, yet the officer pushes her against the bus, restraining her with handcuffs. Her son cries out, "Mommy!" over the noise of the crowd. The moment is chaotic. People are shouting, Jocelyn is pleading, and the officer seems determined to maintain control, regardless of the scene unfolding around him. Within hours, the video spreads across social media platforms, igniting an immediate outcry. Hashtags like "Justice for Jocelyn" and "Stop Police Brutality" flood Twitter. The video sparks a heated debate. Was this an example of excessive force, or was the officer simply doing his job? For Jocelyn, the immediate aftermath is far more personal. She is taken to the station, charged with fare evasion, and released with a memory no child should have. In the days that follow, protests erupt outside the Croydon police station. Community leaders demand answers, calling for transparency and accountability. Jocelyn's story becomes a symbol of something much larger: the distrust between marginalized communities and the institutions meant to protect them. Amid growing backlash, the Metropolitan Police issue a statement defending PC Lathwood's actions. They claim the officer was responding to a situation where fare evasion was suspected and that his actions were within protocol. But the public isn't convinced. The Independent Office for Police Conduct, or IOPC, announces an investigation into the incident, citing concerns raised by the body cam and eyewitness footage. The investigation reveals inconsistencies in the officer's account. Witnesses testify that Jocelyn posed no threat, and body cam footage appears to show excessive use of force. Pressure mounts on the Metropolitan Police as community leaders and activists call for immediate disciplinary action against PC Lathwood. In May 2024, the case reaches court. PC Lathwood is charged with assault. The prosecution paints a damning picture, describing the officer's actions as disproportionate and unnecessary. Jocelyn takes the stand, her voice trembling as she recounts the incident. "I was scared for myself and my son," she says. "I kept thinking, what if this escalates even further? What if I don't make it home?" Her words resonate deeply, highlighting the personal toll of the experience. The judge doesn't hold back. In their remarks, they state that PC Lathwood's behavior fell far below the standards expected of law enforcement. The officer is found guilty of assault and sentenced to community service. The ruling sends a strong message, but for many, it feels like only a small step towards justice. The community's response is bittersweet. While some commend the verdict, others argue that it doesn't address the systemic issues that led to the incident. Jocelyn speaks to reporters, her son by her side. "I'm glad there's been accountability," she says, "but this should never have happened in the first place. No one should have to go through this." The fallout from the case sparks wider conversations about police reform in Croydon and beyond. Community leaders push for mandatory de-escalation training and independent oversight of police misconduct cases. The incident becomes a catalyst for change, but the scars it left on Jocelyn and her son serve as a reminder of the work still to be done. The courtroom is silent as the judge delivers the sentencing for PC Perry Lathwood. Found guilty of assault, the officer is handed a community service sentence along with mandatory anger management classes. Additionally, he faces disciplinary action within the Metropolitan Police. For many, the outcome feels bittersweet. While justice appears to have been served, questions remain about whether the punishment fits the crime. So for Jocelyn Aguimong, the ruling brings a sense of closure, but not without lingering pain. Speaking outside the courthouse, she reflects on the toll the incident has taken on her and her son. "I've had sleepless nights," she admits. "Every time I hear a loud noise, I think back to that day. My son is scared to even step on a bus now. He asks me if the police are going to come for us again." Her words paint a picture of a family deeply affected by the events. Jocelyn's advocates speak about the broader impact. "This isn't just about one incident," says a community leader. "It's about the systemic issues that allowed this to happen in the first place. It's about rebuilding trust that has been broken time and time again." In response to public outcry, the Metropolitan Police announced a series of measures aimed at rebuilding community trust. Among them are new de-escalation training protocols for officers, increased oversight by independent review boards, and a commitment to more community engagement. These changes are framed as steps toward preventing similar incidents in the future, but skepticism remains. "We've heard these promises before," says one activist at a town hall meeting. "Change doesn't come from words, it comes from action. We need to see these reforms implemented, not just talked about." Others in the community express cautious optimism, seeing the incident as a catalyst for meaningful dialogue. Jocelyn herself becomes a reluctant advocate. "I never wanted to be in this position," she says to a crowd of supporters, "but if sharing my story can help prevent this from happening to someone else, then I'll keep speaking out." Her courage resonates, turning her into a symbol of resilience and hope for those seeking justice. This incident serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance between authority and responsibility. It underscores the importance of accountability, empathy, and the need for systems that protect the vulnerable while ensuring fairness for all. The arrest of Jocelyn Aguimong and its aftermath sparked a national conversation, but it also highlighted the power of community action in demanding change. For Jocelyn and her son, the journey hasn't been easy. The scars of that day may never fully heal, but their story is a testament to resilience in the face of adversity. It's a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is an opportunity to push for light, for justice, and for a better future. This story leaves us with questions that extend far beyond Croydon. How do we ensure that power is used responsibly? How do we rebuild trust in the systems designed to protect us? And most importantly, how do we ensure that voices like Jocelyn's are not only heard, but acted upon? These are questions we all must confront. Thank you for joining us in this exploration and sparked critical conversations. If you found this story compelling, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking documentaries. Next time, we'll take a closer look at another case that challenges perceptions of justice and accountability. You won't want to miss it. Turn on notifications so you're the first to know when it's live.